They say it was a targeted hit. Time will tell. I hope there isn't any foul play on Rock's side. There's obviously some foul play because we got a man dead.
Chrisean Rock is now facing life in prison for a murder-for-hire plot after allegedly targeting the biological father of her child information she reportedly wanted to keep secret. What you're about to see in this video is shocking.
Girl right here, Junior right here, weird as a bitch.
You
weird as shit. You weird as shit.
What's wrong?
You weird as shit. Ain't nobody stalking you. That's my...
Behind her viral moments and social media drama, Chrisean was allegedly orchestrating something far more serious. A premeditated murder-for-hire plot against the man who claimed to be her son's father, which ended in his death. Federal authorities reportedly tapped phones, identified suspects, and built a case that could send multiple people to prison for life. The full story, including her sister's revelations, the FBI's conspiracy investigation, and the planning that may have begun months in advance, is far more chilling than anyone imagined. Yo! What's good, fam? We're diving into real, street-level drama mixed with federal investigations, family betrayal, and industry corruption shaking the hip-hop world. This isn't entertainment. It's about murder, conspiracy, organized crime, and a child who may never know his father because someone wanted to control the narrative for profit. Before we get into it, let's be clear. The FBI has launched a homicide investigation, with Chrisean Rock named as a primary suspect in the murder of Ronnie Doe, the man asserting paternity over Junior. We're separating fact from fiction because this story involves federal crimes, interstate conspiracy, and what prosecutors believe was a planned execution. February 3rd, 2025. At 7:10 p.m., everything changed. Ronnie Doe, a 4-year-old from Baltimore who had been fighting publicly for paternity recognition, was shot outside his home. Police immediately classified it as a targeted attack, not random violence. Doe had been demanding DNA tests and exposing lies, and he was silenced just days before proof could reveal a conspiracy reaching the top of the entertainment industry. Don't think of this as just celebrity drama gone wrong. Federal agents conducted wiretaps, investigated interstate conspiracy, and looked into potential RICO violations. This murder-for-hire plot may involve multiple accomplices across states. The evidence trail allegedly points back to Chrisean Rock, who built her career, public persona, and income around claiming the wrong man as her child's father, and who reportedly was willing to kill to maintain that lie. To understand why it escalated to murder, we need to look at the beginning. Chrisean Rock, a young woman from Baltimore with ambitions but limited talent, signed to Blueface's label around 2021. She wasn't known or established, she just wanted success, and was willing to do whatever it took. In the music industry, power imbalances are common. Blueface had financial and professional control. Her career, housing, platform, and public image were all tied to him. This created a sense of desperation, and desperate people often take desperate actions. Chrisean's value to Blueface wasn't her music, it was the drama, chaos, and attention she generated online. Their professional relationship quickly became personal, but toxic. They engaged in a public on and off cycle that millions consumed as entertainment. Meanwhile, Chrisean had someone else in her life who loved her for who she was, not for the brand she supported. But even from the start, her behavior showed manipulation and deception. She was constantly trying to prove loyalty to Blueface, maintain her status, and compete for attention. This wasn't the behavior of someone secure, it was the behavior of someone living a lie.
They would have worshipped my little nigga like that. I don't know, it would have been better off having a baby with him than Blue.
Ronnie Doe wasn't in the industry. He wasn't chasing clout or trying to use Chrisean Rock's name to gain fame. He was a genuine man from Baltimore who truly loved her and was willing to sacrifice everything, his freedom, his reputation, and ultimately his life for her. Multiple sources, including members of Chrisean's own family who knew the truth, confirm that Ronnie was the real partner, the one present when the cameras weren't rolling. While Chrisean performed a toxic public relationship with Blueface for social media and content, she went home to Ronnie. He was the one supporting her emotionally, helping financially when possible, and genuinely caring about her well-being. Chrisean's sister revealed details that highlight Ronnie's loyalty. "That was my brother-in-law, and he still is. He will love you and my nephew, and Ronnie ain't going to play with him. He already went to jail for you once. Let that sink in. He had already risked his freedom for Christian, and according to allegations, she repaid that loyalty with deception and, ultimately, a murder-for-hire plot. Looking at the timeline of Christian's relationships, it's clear that Ronnie was the consistent presence while Blueface represented the public performance. During the toxic on and off cycles with Blueface, she wasn't alone, she was with Ronnie, building a real relationship based on connection rather than content creation. When Christian became pregnant, the timing didn't align with her Blueface narrative. Ronnie knew this and had proof. He publicly stated that Blueface was traveling between LA and Baltimore during the conception period. Ronnie had dates, evidence, and witnesses confirming that Junior was conceived during one of Christian's trips home. Now, here's where things get disturbing. Throughout her pregnancy, while carrying what she reportedly knew was Ronnie's child, Christian allegedly drank alcohol and smoked, showing little concern for the baby's health. She focused on maintaining her public image and toxic cycle with Blueface for content and attention rather than the well-being of her unborn child. This wasn't an isolated incident, it was a consistent pattern. She attended parties, engaged in altercations, and used substances, seemingly disregarding the long-term impact on her child. When Junior was born, complications were immediately apparent health issues that could have been prevented with proper prenatal care and responsible behavior. Instead of taking responsibility, Christian reportedly doubled down on her lie about paternity. Admitting Ronnie was the father, according to sources, would have risked her entire public persona and income. The reason Christian allegedly pushed the Blueface narrative goes beyond fame. Ronnie was a regular man with no money, fame, or platform. Blueface represented celebrity status, financial security. The implication was clear. Anyone who questioned her narrative faced serious consequences. And when examining the outcomes, the pattern is chilling. Blueface faced legal troubles after questioning paternity. And now, Ronnie is dead after demanding a DNA test. It suggests a systematic silencing of anyone threatening her deception. February 3rd, 2025, around 7:10 p.m. EST marked a deadly turning point. Anne Arundel County Police responded to reports of gunfire on Seapine Circle, a quiet residential area. They found Ronnie Doe lying in front of his home with gunshot wounds. This was not a random act or a robbery. It was a targeted execution. Investigators quickly classified the incident as homicide, recognizing it was premeditated. Someone had deliberately planned his death, tracking his movements and exploiting his routine. The severity of the case prompted swift FBI involvement. Federal agents rarely intervene in local murders unless there's evidence of interstate conspiracy, organized crime, or other federal violations. Precisely what this case suggested: a murder-for-hire plot. Investigators reportedly conducted wiretaps on Quell, described as a close friend of Christian with alleged gang connections in Baltimore. Quell appeared to downplay his involvement on social media, a reaction consistent with someone aware of federal scrutiny. The story took an explosive turn when Christian's sister, Tiki, appeared on a podcast with Jason Lee. Her statements, carefully phrased, strongly implied Christian's direct involvement in orchestrating Ronnie's murder. Tiki said, "I can't even speak on it, but from what I know, it doesn't look too good for certain people we know." Her reluctance to speak suggests she possesses inside knowledge of planning, execution, or cover-up details that could be devastating if publicly revealed. Federal investigators interpreted this as confirmation that Ronnie was killed to prevent a DNA test from exposing Christian's lies about paternity, a clear case of premeditated murder with a provable motive. The case intensified when Blueface submitted a legitimate court-approved DNA test. The results confirmed Ronnie's claims. Junior is not Blueface's biological son. Blueface's timing after Ronnie's murder raises questions about motive, sincerity, and potential cooperation with federal authorities. Federal prosecutors now have a strong case. Christian's alleged conspirators had clear motive, as her career, income, and public identity were built entirely on being perceived as Blueface's baby mama. Admitting Ronnie was the real father would have destroyed Christian's brand, erased her earning potential, ended her relevance, and left her with no financial security. Everything she had built was based on this lie. That's a powerful motive for murder. Second, she had the opportunity. Chrisean had direct connections to people willing and capable of committing violence, specifically Quell, who has documented gang affiliations and has been under federal surveillance. Phone taps reportedly show ongoing communication about criminal activity, providing the means to execute the murder. Third, the evidence of means is strong. Surveillance footage, phone records, and digital communications all point to a carefully planned attack. The killers knew Ronnie's address, his routine, and struck just before he was scheduled to get a DNA test proving the truth. That's textbook premeditation, and exactly the kind of coordination federal conspiracy charges require. Fourth, Chrisean's own social media posts could serve as admissions of guilt. Statements like, "Everyone that thinks they can speak on my son always lose their life," show a violent mindset and can be interpreted by prosecutors as threats or evidence of planning. Social media evidence is gold for federal investigators because it comes straight from the defendant's own accounts. This could even rise to a potential RICO case. If federal authorities prove Chrisean was operating as part of a criminal organization, using violence and intimidation to protect her financial interests, and Quell and others acted as her criminal associates, the charges and penalties skyrocket. At the heart of all this is Junior. His real father died fighting to claim his rights, while his mother allegedly orchestrated a murder to maintain a profitable lie about his identity. The weight of this truth will one day fall on him, and it's unimaginable. The FBI's investigation is ongoing. Phone taps, witness interviews, and digital forensics are painting a picture of a coordinated conspiracy. Federal prosecutors are reportedly considering multiple charges: conspiracy to commit murder, murder for hire, interstate conspiracy, potential RICO violations, and obstruction of justice. These are all federal crimes that can carry life sentences. This case isn't just about one murder. It's about whether society will hold people accountable for prioritizing fame over family, profit over human life, and entertainment over truth. The evidence is clear. The motive is obvious. The means are documented. The world is watching. What do you think? Does the FBI have enough to secure convictions? Should Junior one day learn the truth about his father's death? And how can tragedies like this be prevented in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments and click the videos on screen for the full coverage of this federal murder investigation.